Well, here are two questions for you. Is government the answer to our problems, or is government itself the problem? Well, John Stossel of Fox News tackles that question in his new book. Take a look.
My policies and vision will help millions of middle-class Americans of all races.
In politics, dreams run big and guarantees are endless.
GM is back on top and Chrysler's moving and Ford is going strong.
Assurance of financial security.
More jobs, more opportunity, more paychecks.
And the belief that somehow government helps make it all happen.
If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
But in his new book, No They Can't, Why Government Fails But Individuals Succeed, self-described skeptic and Fox Business host John Stossel takes on one of society's most sacred cows, the belief that more government is the answer to society's ills. From the idea that a government ban on certain foods will promote good health, to the belief that the government can get the economy moving again. Stossel says we need to discard the idea of a perfect government, left or right, and retrain our brains to look at the facts. Individuals, not the government, are the answer.
Well, John Stossel joins us now from New York. John, welcome to the 700 Club.
Thank you, Gordon.
Why do we think government can fix the economy? Why is that seems to be stuck in our minds?
Because we have lives, and we're busy with our lives, and the economy is complicated, and it's just intuitive, just as Mom and Dad took care of us when we were little, to say these experts know what they're doing, and they can make it better. But an economy isn't like a car that needs a jump start. We do need government to enforce contracts and rule of law, make sure I don't steal your stuff. The worst places to live are the African countries where there's no rule of law and nobody builds anything because you're afraid the dictator will take your whole factory or your neighbor will steal what you make. So, but you need government for that. But then the instinct is to say government should do something about unemployment, but government has no money of its own. It has to take it from the private sector to spend it on things, and the private sector spends it better. But it's not intuitive.
Well, it also goes against the policy of both the current administration and the previous administration, where they're trying to make up national gross domestic product, the GDP, with government spending. That's the whole basis behind the deficits we're currently running, is that they're trying to keep that spend up so the economy's propped up. What do you say to that?
I say they're wrong, and most Americans, unfortunately, don't get that. Oddly, religious people tend to. On the No They Can't book tour, I got my biggest crowd at Columbia Christian University. I don't know what it is about Christianity that leads people to have some better understanding of free markets, but that's my observation.
Well, we tend to have faith in God as opposed to faith in a government. Throughout history, if you look to a government, you're looking to the wrong source, and that's the reason why. We all want our government to create jobs, but you say that government's actually really bad at that. Why?
Because government doesn't know where to spend the money. When government spends, it takes money by force. Only two ways to do things in life, voluntary or force. Business is voluntary. No business can force you to buy their products. But because government spends through force, taking your tax money, it doesn't know where the needs are. It doesn't know what will create wealth. It can't create the new Facebook or Google. It just spends on what it used to spend on. If government were as big as it is now, years ago, they would have subsidized the candle makers when light bulbs were created, or the buggy whip makers when cars were mass-produced.
What do you think about Obamacare? Your book, you're claiming that government already is dominating health care, and now it looks like it's going to take an even bigger chunk. What's your view of that?
It's the same principle. It's again, intuitive. I'm sick. I should be taken care of. This should be a role for government in a rich country to take care of sick people. Shouldn't have to worry about insurance. We waste money on insurance paperwork. And part of the problem is already half the bills are paid by somebody else. But the only thing that works is a free market. And in medicine, in the tiny parts of it where there still is a free market, LASIK eye surgery, plastic surgery, what's happened? Quality's gone up and prices have gone down. The LASIK eye surgery surgeons give out their cell phone numbers and their email addresses to their customers, their patients, because they have to please their customers to win the business. That's the only thing that works. We need more of that in medicine, not less. No politician wants to say that. We need to pay more of our own bills, but Obamacare moves us in the opposite direction.
Well, why wasn't that part of the debate? It seems like the whole debate process was actually stopped down. That this thing was never really fully vetted before it went through, including some people saying they voted for it without even reading it. Why didn't we have a full open debate on, is this really a good thing, and are we going to end up with a better America at the end of it?
We actually, I think, had a bigger debate about this than most issues, but it's a 2,000-page bill. Nobody can understand it. Almost no one has read it. I mean, I wish they had more about it, too. It's why I'm traveling the country with this embarrassing sign saying, no, they can't. But the instinct is to say healthcare is complicated. You know, Obama's so smart. He went to Harvard. Let them manage it. It'll be better for us. And those of you who've started a business and seen all the regulation and seen how government messes things up, realize it won't work. But most people haven't done that. When I started consumer reporting, I didn't get that.
Well, let's look at some consumer issues. What do you think about government bans on soda drinks? Is that going to make us a healthier nation?
No, there's no evidence it ever has. And the same argument, it goes, I like your father's saying that marijuana shouldn't be illegal. I believe he said that. That do we own our own bodies or not? Are we free once we're adults or not?
All right. Fair enough. Well, the book is called No, They Can't, Why Government Fails But Individuals Succeed. It's by John Stossel. And John, thanks for being with us.